Hola amigos, I am a sommelier from the United States of America, but now I live in Ecuador. Behind me is beautiful Monte Cristi. Monte Cristi is home to the Monte Cristi Golf Resort and Villas, a prestigious and highly profitable residential community situated around a golf course with an urban design that combines nature and good living. And that is the beautiful Monte Cristi in the background. People that know me, they call me Blake. People that don't know me, they call me Gringo. But right now, you can call me Gringo Wine Guy. On this episode of Gringo Wine Guy, we're going down. No, not down there. We're going south, way south, as into Patagonia, Argentina. 3,723 miles south of where I am, and I'm already south of the equator. We're going to check out a real cool wine, which is Ventus, Cabernet Sauvignon, Malbec, Merlot, from the Cellar at the end of the world, Bodega del Fin del Mundo, Patagonia, Argentina. Okay, let's talk about the composition of this wine. I did introduce it as Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Malbec. It is in fact, specifically, Merlot, Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon. This wine has 50% Merlot, 30% Malbec, and only 20% Cabernet Sauvignon. One thing that I've noticed about this part of the world, and especially in this part of Ecuador, people love Merlot. It's widely available. It's in a lot of the restaurants. It's very popular. I suppose they never saw the movie Sideways here. You remember, right? I ain't drinking no stinking Merlot. Yeah, they love Merlot here in this part of Ecuador. So let's talk about the three varietals. Merlot, Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon, three of the five principal varietals of Bordeaux. I think it's fair to call this wine a Bordeaux blend. On the back label, you can see blend tinto, which I guess if you understand Spanish, you understand that it's a red blend. But this does have three of the five principal varietals of Bordeaux, and those five varietals are Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec. Yes, Malbec is grown in Bordeaux. It's not bottled as a single varietal. It's always used as a blending agent in the wine. But when people think of Merlot, they tend to think of Argentina, where this wine comes from, particularly Mendoza, Argentina. Mendoza is further north than where we are here in Patagonia. Patagonia goes all the way down to the southern tip of South America, covering Argentina and Chile. This happens to be on the northern end of Patagonia, where some of the wineries are. I have had wine from Patagonia in the past, Bodega Chacra Pinot Noir, fantastic wine. Not necessarily cheap, it's a luxury item, but it certainly shows that you can make great wine as far south as Patagonia. Bodega del Fin del Mundo is a relatively young winery. They planted the first vineyards in 1999. They currently have over 2,000 hectares, which is roughly 4,450 acres of vines. And of that acreage, 85% is dedicated to red wine varietals and 15% to white wine varietals. And the winery's total production is 1 million liters of wine per year. This is another wine that's about $10 or $11 at the grocery store or the wine store. When I look for wine to do in these videos, I'm looking for wines that I've not had before or things that I'm not familiar with. And it just happens that it's the inexpensive stuff. The wines that aren't necessarily for export into North America are the ones that I haven't seen before. The more expensive wines, things like the Conchitoro wines, Connoisseur, things like that. I am familiar with Catena. There's plenty of that available. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's kind of exciting to purchase these $10, $11, $12 wines, taste them for the first time, let you guys know what I think. So let's go ahead with the Ventus Blend Tinto. Well, here's another wine that looks like Old Bordeaux. I guess it was pretty fair that I referred to this as a Bordeaux blend. So this has an opaque crimson color, something I would expect from such a wine. It has pretty decent legs. This wine is 13.7% alcohol by volume. That's pretty decent for South American standards, I would say. So far, so good. Wow, this is loaded with red fruit characteristics. A little bit of cinnamon, a hint of cranberry almost. Something that you get in a Pinot Noir. Bacon fat, that's really weird because that's something I always identify in Pinot Noir, but I'm definitely getting it in this wine. This is just red fruit overload. It's really nice. This part of Patagonia, which is known as Neuquén, I believe that's how you say it, has warm days and cold nights. That alone is going to give the grapes a lot of balance in their acidity. It's going to produce the aromas. It's not unlike a few areas in California, and I think that's why I'm smelling this wine, and it smells, quite frankly, a lot like a California wine to me. Okay, it smells great. Now we just have to taste it. Well, I definitely get more of a Cabernet Sauvignon character, maybe even more of a Malbec character than Merlot. When I think of Merlot, to me it's always a rich, round wine with flavors of chocolate, particularly as it's grown in the right bank of Bordeaux in areas like Saint-Emilion, Pomerol, even in Napa Valley. It's a big, rich wine. This is a bit more lean. It's got terrific structure. Again, good acidity. I would be fooled into thinking this was 50% Merlot if I had not seen it on the label. Merlot, Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon. This wine reminds me a bit of like a Petit Chateau Bordeaux or a Cru Bourgeois, if you will. Maybe something that's even grown in the Haut-Médoc. It is dry. It's got the same alcohol content as you'd expect from something like a Petit Chateau. And it's certainly a food wine. This is not something you really want to sit out on your patio or next to your pool and drink it without anything else. This deserves some food. It really reminds me of Left Bank Bordeaux, which is interesting because a lot of people consider the right bank to be the proper place of the Merlot grape in Bordeaux, but plenty of it is grown on the left bank. And in some of the lesser chateaus, some of the least expensive wines, you'll find more Merlot than Cabernet Sauvignon. I think that Bodega del Fin del Mundo is trying to replicate that, and they're doing a terrific job with Ventus from Patagonia, Argentina. So in conclusion, I would like to say that Ventus, Merlot, Malbec, Cabernet Sauvignon is another winner. If you're thinking about coming to Ecuador to vacation, to visit, maybe you're thinking about retiring and moving here like I did, these are the kind of wines you can expect to enjoy at that price point. I think it's important to know that because, as I mentioned in the very first video I did, or maybe the second video, there's not really any California wine here. So if you're watching from the United States and you love California wine like I do, there's plenty of great ones out there. You're not going to find it here. So you're going to have to adapt to things like Ventus and like the Chardonnay I did in the last video, which was an absolute bargain for $8.63. So hooray to South America. We love you. This is Gringo Wine Guy. Adios.